Well, hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday, and thank you for stopping by. Welcome to Elegant Sentiments today. This is our weekly card share number 44. So I thank you so much for stopping by. Today, as you can see, we're going to be crafting using Lisa Horton Crafts products. And we are going to use these products to make our easy and elegant card for today. This is her mini sentiments, and we're going to use the thanks from this stamp set and this beautiful Decorative Pearls embossing folder. I'm telling you, this is quickly becoming one of my favorites, and it is a must-have for your stash. I'm telling you, it's just gorgeous. So we're using that, and then we're going to use the Tea Rose embossing folder and the layering stencils. There are 7 stencils in this set. I've stenciled with it before in my lives, I believe. But this is what we're going to be doing today. It's really quick and easy and elegant. And this is the card that we're going to make using these products. I'm also going to be using some diamond stickles. So that's what gives the little glimmer in the center of the card. I guess if I move it up a little bit, you can see that little shimmer there. So that's our card. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to bring in my Ultimate tool. Love, it's my must-have for stenciling. And we'll start with our stencils. I'm using a piece of paper that's an A2 size, 4¼ by 5½, and we'll just go ahead and put that first stencil on. Oh, let me show you the colors that we're going to be using for today. For the leaves, we're using eucalyptus leaves and painted eggshell. And for the flower, we're using strawberry sundae and sugar candy. So these are the 4 ink colors that we're going to be using today. And so stencil number 1 is the leaves. So I'm going to put down, I think I'm going to put down painted eggshell first. So we'll get that there. And I've got to find where to put my brushes. So there we go. So this paper is a little bit smaller than the stencils, and that's okay. But let me see here. Yeah, I'm going to use a little bit of, excuse my arm, I'm going to use a little bit of tape just to make sure I don't want the paper's not going anywhere and the stencil can't grab onto the mat. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape there just to be safe. So we'll go ahead and start inking up these leaves here, and just go around, get that color darker at the base of the leaves, and blend it on out. This one, if you watch, I can't remember which video it was that I did this actual flower before, but it's one of my favorites because it's so pretty and it's easy to do. I like that. So we'll put some painted eggshell on these leaves. Again, we're going darker at the base of the leaf. And you want to make sure when you're doing your ink blending that you start with that ink on. You can either do paper, or if there's room on the stencil like there is on this one, you want to get some of that ink off because you don't want a big ink blotch that you can't blend to be on your image. So, and I like to go both directions when I stencil. Make sure we're getting in all of the little nooks and cranny in the paper. Want color down in there. And we're just about done with stencil number 1. And I just really put a spot in there, not paying attention to what I was doing. Okay, and then I think I want to go in and just darken these tips a little bit. There's going to be, it'll get picked up some with the other stencils that we're going to be using, but I'll go ahead and put a little bit on these tips at the beginning. Okay, so that's pretty much it for stencil number 1. Oops, there we go. All right, and pull this tape up and get that off of my stencil. And my paper is not going anywhere, but that stencil has the potential to move, so we need to move that out of the way. And then stencil number 2, we get started with the tea rose. And I'm going to do 2 different colors on the tea rose. I'm using the strawberry sundae, is the darker of the 2 colors. So I'll start with that one first, and I'm going to go around the perimeter of the flower with this darker color. We'll just come in. It's a nice, it's like a almost pinky red. I don't know, strawberry, I guess, is the color. And we'll go, but it coordinates very nicely with the sugar candy flower. So I guess I need to make some room so you can still see the project, because you can't really see the project. Okay, there you go. And you don't have to worry if you go over the stencil like I did there, because we're going to die cut this when we're done. So it doesn't matter a whole lot. I try to get in the habit of paying attention to where I'm inking, even when it doesn't matter. It just keeps me aware of what I'm doing, because it's so easy for me to lose track of where I am, and then I'll end up doing something that I didn't intend to do, because it's so relaxing for me. So we're going to blend that out, not all the way to the center, but a good little ways in. Blend it out to where it starts looking a little more pink. And after we do that, then we'll actually come back in with the sugar candy. And there we go with that. Hope everybody had a nice holiday. For those that watched last week's video, you saw how my last week went. It was a little crazy, but at least I had a video to share. Let me get a bigger blending brush here to blend in this center. And we're coming in with stencil number 3. And we're going to swap out this strawberry sundae and bring in sugar candy. And what did I do? My little, there it is. Lost my little piece of tape. Let's put that up there. We don't want this stencil moving. So just grab some ink and carry that on. Pick up that center. I like these two colors together. I think they're just really pretty. And then I have to be careful because I'm so used to just kind of going across the stencil, not paying attention. Again, there's some detail on this stencil for the leaves, and I'm going to go in with, I'm not even sure I'm going to use eucalyptus on this one. We'll see. But I'm going to go in with the painted eggshell on these leaves, giving a little detail to the leaves. And I may go back after the fact and add a little bit of eucalyptus leaves on there. And then when you're close like this, if you're uncomfortable with any of the ink getting over, you can use a smaller brush to do this part, or you can just let it be, because that's kind of how it is in nature. Some of those colors just blend in together. So there we have stencil number 3. We're getting through these pretty quickly. And then, we'll see. I may come back to stencil number 3 because I might want a little more pink in that center, but we'll see. We'll see where we are when we're done. So this is stencil number 4, and we're going to get a little bit more color in there. Now, I did this card a few days ago, so I'm kind of forgetting what comes on what layer. So we're coming back in with sugar candy on this one. And I'll probably end up using both colors because I do want to get that center, and I want to get a little more color on those edges. So I'll use both colors on this stencil just to make sure we have it all in the way we want it. Add some more color. And I don't know if you can tell on the sample that I did, I didn't emboss that, and I'm going to for this card, so you can see the difference that it makes when you're using that embossing folder. So we're coming back in with some more strawberry sundae, and we're going to go around those edges a bit, a little bit more. If you watch this on the replay, let me know what you think about this color combination. I love roses. Any color rose is beautiful to me, but I think this one is really pretty. I like these colors together. And this guy, we want to get that a little more color in there. Put a little more in that center. Well, I think that looks pretty good. Then wipe that off just a bit so I don't have so much cleanup to do afterwards. I'll take off if you use all I need to do to not have to do that is I don't need a piece of paper quite as big as what I'm using. I could just use a little smaller piece. And then we're going to come in with some more sugar candy here and add some detail on on our rose. And this is stencil number 5, so it really does go quickly. Only 2 more to go. I think we're putting a little bit more detail on the center of the flower, and that's about it. And I do think I'm going to go back to that third, I think it's stencil number 3, and put a little more, add some of that eucalyptus leaves to my eucalyptus leaves ink to my leaves. I think I just like that look of the kind of the 2 tones. Or maybe I'll just do it with stencil 1. We'll see. Okay, so I think we've got these pretty well covered. Got some nice detail on our beautiful pinky red rose. I like roses. I don't have a lot of luck growing them, but I keep trying. One day I'm going to get it. So that looks very pretty. And we're going to put some color then on the center of the flower. And again, we're going to use that strawberry sundae for that. And get that filled in. Have a nice, pretty pink center to our flower. Okay. And look at how pretty. And I think I might pull back out because I want a little more color, I think, in here. So I'm going to bring back that first stencil. Okay, so, and that's the nice thing about stencils. You can look and see where you want more color, and you can just add it, which is great. It's better to go light and add than put more color on than you want, and then you can't take it off. So I think that looks pretty good. Well, let's see, did I get everybody? I think I did. Just in case, we'll give it a couple more. Okay, so that looks pretty good, but like I said, I want some more color in that center. So let's grab, I think it's stencil, I think it's this one. Yes, they'll let me get a little more color in there. And it's also the one that I wanted to use for these leaves. I'm going to put a little bit of, and I just want to go kind of in the center because I really want this area to be just a tad bit darker than I've got it. Doesn't have to be too dark, but just a wee bit. Okay, and then while I have this here, I'm going to add a little bit of eucalyptus leaves to the base and the tip of these flowers or leaves. I think that's what I want to do, just to give it a little more. And a little bit to the base here. Yeah, I like that better. It's not a big difference, but it's a teeny one that helps, I think. Okay. All right, let's see what she looks like now. Yes, I like that. Okay, so the next thing we want to do then, let me get some of this cleared away. And the next thing we want to do is to go ahead and die cut it. Now, you can emboss it first and then die cut it and emboss it a second time, depending upon your die cutting machine. Mine is pretty tight, so it will it'll really flatten out that embossed panel once I put it in. So I'm going to die cut it first and then go back and emboss it. And I want to get this closer to me so I can see, make sure it's even all around. This is where I really have to take my time because it looks even and then I pick it up and it's like, that's not even at all. So I gotta, and then it moves so easy. Now I need to start using, there's a magnetic mat that comes with the Ultimate, and I really do need to start using that because once you get it where you want it, it's not going to move around, and that's part of my problem. I'll move the die not paying attention, trying not to get too much tape on the actual inked image. See, down here it just doesn't look even to me. It looks like I've got, let me loosen it up a little bit, because it looks like I've got just a wee bit of cut onto this leaf. Okay, there. Very small, but it matters. And so we'll go ahead and die cut this. And excuse me, I'm going to be off camera for just a second while I cut this. I'm using my die cutting machine. It's right here, but it's off camera. So just give me a second. I'll have this run through. The other day I was die cutting something and I don't know what I did, but that plate went shooting through. It flew across the room. I was like, what in the world? So it was making me work that day. I still don't know what I did differently when I made my sandwich. Like a teeny bit of tape right there. Let me get that off of there. Okay. Oops, nope, there's another little piece. Okay, here we go. So there is our die cut image. So pretty. And what we're going to do now is go ahead and emboss it. And this way you will be able to see all the beautiful detail that is in this folder. And it makes a difference. And you'll be able to see once I get this done and open. So let me get this in here. And just want to line this up with the die cut. Let's see. How are we doing down here? I try to make sure I get it lined up correctly, because you can tell when you move it out of line. And then there we go. And so I'm going to run this through my die cut machine real quick and emboss this. And we'll be ready to put our card together, because as usual, I have done a little bit of pre-work to save time. So here we go. Here's the big reveal. And look at that detail. Let me see if I can get that in a way that you can actually see all that detail in the die. Okay, camera, come on, cooperate. But can you see that, all that detail? My camera is not focusing. Come on, I want you to focus. People need to see. Well, hopefully you can see a lot of that detail. It's really pretty. And then compare it to this one that has no embossing on it at all. It's still pretty, but there is just such a big difference between the two when you look at them. You can see all that dimension that just isn't on the flat card. So it's very pretty. So we're going to go ahead and put this together. What I've done, I did go ahead and I stamped this sentiment in black ink, and then I die cut it using the mini sentiments set. And then actually, I think I did this. I stamped this, and oops, I used because I'm not a fussy cutter. So I used my scan and cut to actually cut this sentiment because I don't even know if it comes with dies. If it does come with dies, I don't have them. So I just used my scan and cut to cut it, but you could fussy cut it too. There's a lot of people that love fussy cutting. I'm just not one of them. So there's that. And then I did look at all the detail in that embossing folder. This is the Decorative Pearls folder, and you really want to have this in your stash, I'm telling you, because it is gorgeous and it's versatile. And anytime, anything you're doing with flowers or anything soft, it'll work. And this came out with Lisa's Christmas line this year, but I'm going to be using this thing all year long because it can, and it's pretty, and it's a perfect background for any kind of floral card that you might be making. So we're going to go ahead and put this panel again. This one was A2 size, 4 4¼ by 5½. And then sorry for all that noise. Got all my tools laying on top of one another here. And so we got that. And then we'll go ahead and add this to the front. And some places I'm not going to go all the way to the edge with the glue because I know that I'm going to be cutting some of it off, depending upon how I put this on my card front. But there we go. And I think stuff like that looks pretty good. And then, oops, put that down, hold it for a second to let that glue grab. Especially want to do that when you're using a textured background like this. Got to make sure that actually I could put, where's I think I got a big block I could put on it. Kind of keep that down while I'm putting glue on the sentiment. Okay. And then we'll put this, we'll make sure that gets straight. There we go. Okay. And then we'll take some scissors and trim off this excess on the back there. Actually, I got a lot of excess on my panel too. I'll pick that up later. And then to finish this, the only thing we need to do is add our diamond stickles in the flower center, and we can call this one done. So I'm gonna open these up and give this a little test here before I put it on my card. And I just kind of put a dot over all of the inked dots that are on the flower in the center. And they don't have to be exact, but just kind of replicate that as best you can and fill those all in. Okay, so there you have it. There are our 2 cards for today using Lisa Horton Crafts Decorative Pearls and Tea Rose embossing folder and stencils. And I thank you so much for stopping by. I will be back again next Thursday with another card to share. And I hope you'll come back and join me too. If you like the card and the video, please be sure to like my card and share. I would appreciate that. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful week. Make yourself something easy and elegant and have a lovely week. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.